Good morning, good morning. Happy Sunday. Welcome to another edition of our money church or our financial church. This is the Black Wolf Rebels, myself, Jimmy, and Corey. Every Sunday, we come here and explain or teach on some kind of investment topic. Today's topic is how to understand the importance for how to understand the importance of market capitalization for investors and traders. So good morning, brothers. How y'all doing today?
What's up, good brother? You get your coffee yet this morning?
No, not really. Not really. Here it is.
Okay. Here it is. Bam. All right, so
I need my drugs.
I don't drink coffee. I'm a tea guy, but you know what I'm saying? But I just gotta, rep the podcast. Stacks has to die trying, but I digress. Corey, how are you, sir? You all right, Corey?
Yeah, man. I got a lot going on in my background. Roosevelt Boulevard going crazy again. I don't know what the hell's going on.
Oh man, that these days that could mean anything, man.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I don't even want to ask. I don't want to ask that question. But shout out to everybody joining us live. This will be on the replay as well. We're going to talk about market cap. But if you are here live, please let us know who's here and how you doing this fine morning. Yeah, man. So we are streaming from the Village, blackwolfrebels.com. Make sure you join the Village. You can get in the Village for free, by the way, if that's your thing. Like Kamari said, every Sunday we come with a class. We also have a class every Wednesday, and then Friday we just kick it and talk about a little bit of everything. Shout out to Shelby. I see Shelby's here. Shelby is a member of the Village who be in there trading with us on a daily basis. Master trader Shelby. So shout out to Shelby.
What up, bro?
You know what I'm saying? Oh, we got some comments on the Patreon. Hey, Tiffany says hello. Hello, Tiff. So Tiff's watching live on the Patreon as well. BlackWealthRebels.com. All right, so we got some stuff to talk about today, man. We got to talk about market cap. Oh, we got morning from Jersey. I don't know if you want to get to these comments before we get into the.
Yeah, let's get it while you pull the slides up.
Yeah.
Good morning, Beyond the Ring.
I want to silence my phone. You know what I mean? Like how it is in class. Everybody silence your phones.
Enos here. Hey, more. Good morning. Rain, Jay Phillips.
Yes. Shout out to everybody who was there on Friday. Friday was wild. We gave away like $300 in Bitcoin on Friday, right?
Was Ollie 300?
There was between like everything that Pass did and all that. Like so, we shout out to our brother Pass too, man. And I want to give him a public shout out too because
shout out to Pass.
He put up most of that chicken. You know what I'm saying? We had some $50 winners, some $25 winners, some $10 winners, but we did a lot of on for those that left early, y'all missed out, but it is what it is, man.
Also, shout out to Greg too.
Huh?
Also, shout out to Greg too.
Yeah, shout out to Greg too. Greg did donate. Greg won and then gave some of his chicken back. So shout out to Greg. But Greg won every week, man. Don then gave Greg the algorithm, and then Greg, changed the algorithm. So Don, he blocking Don's blessings. But shout out to everybody in the Village, man. Let's get to it, though. Let's talk about today's class. And for those that are in the Village, we talk about a lot on Sunday, but this specific part will be chopped up into its own little thing. So you could just watch the presentation this morning. I'll see you Sunday. I got on my shadowy super coat hoodie, so it's time to get to it, man.
All right, Light Beyond the Ring says I'm in the Ville.
Harlem is in the building. We got Harlem in the building. What's up?
Welcome. Harlem on
the rise. All right, let's get it. All right, so boom. You guys let me know when the screen.
The screen is right.
The screen is right. All right, because the way I share my screen now, I can't see myself, so I don't know what's going on in the comments and nothing. So that's up to Kamari to make sure to save any questions or anything, so we make sure to get them answered. But
way to put the pressure on me. Thank you, sir. But
pause. All right, so
you need a pause for it.
Hey man, listen, man. It sounded a little wild. I love Corey be the pause referee, but that sounded a little crazy. Anyway,
easy.
That was kind of wild.
All right, so the pause referee. I'm just saying he got referee whether that was a legitimate pause or not. That's all.
The people don't want to hear this, man. Let's go.
All right. Let's get to market cap. You're right, because y'all wilding. All right, so this morning we're going to talk about market cap and the importance of market capitalization and what it indicates, right? So obviously market cap is short for market capitalization. And what that is, and by the way, I'm going to change this because it says the total value of a company's outstanding shares of stock, but what I actually want to change it to is the total price, not necessarily value, right? Because price and value are different. They're used a lot of times interchangeably when you talk about the stock market.
Semantics.
It's semantics, but it's not when you start digging deep into investing and trading, because the idea of finding a company that's undervalued, right, based upon your analysis, right, would mean that that's the price and not the value, right? And what we like to do is look at a company and break it down from a fundamental and a technical standpoint and try to find companies that have a greater value than its current price. That's why I said I think it's actually better to call market cap the total price of a company's outstanding shares of stock as opposed to value. Hopefully that made sense to everybody. If not, we can, we could actually do a whole class on price versus value versus cost, because those are three different things. Anyway, it's calculated by multiplying the current share price by the total number of outstanding shares. So for instance, a company with 10 million shares at $50 per share has a market cap of 500 million. This crucial metric indicates a company's size, stability, risk, and potential for growth or dividend stability. Now, I think it's important to stop here and just kind of talk a little bit more about what that means. A lot of times, I've said this in every class that goes across the series that we do on Sunday, intro to options trading, because a lot of the things we talk about go to options trading, but also long-term investing. I think that a lot of times we forget that we're buying a company when we look at a stock on a stock market, right? We look at the price of it and we spend too much time on what the price costs. So we say, I don't want to buy this because it's $100 a share. I would rather buy this company that's $20 a share because I can get more shares. I see it in crypto all the time, which is why people buy shit coins as opposed to just buying Bitcoin, the only one that has value, because they feel like they can get more of it because it's only $1 or less than $1, as opposed to something that's already $100,000. But that does not indicate value. So an example of this would be, let's take Berkshire Hathaway. What is one A share of Berkshire Hathaway cost right now? Does anybody know? Kamari, Corey, or even someone watching. What's one A share of Berkshire?
Do you really want to know?
Yeah, I really want to know. What's one A share of Berkshire?
$719,146.
All right, so Berkshire is $719,000 per for one individual share, right? So someone will look at that and say, and now obviously they do have B shares as well, that that's the most valuable company based on the share price. But there's a company such as, let's take Nvidia right now. Nvidia is a more valuable company than Berkshire. But what is Nvidia per share right now?
Nvidia stock price is $138.
All right, so they're only $138 a share. We're comparing that to a company worth $719,000 per share. But when you look at the overall value or market cap for the company, it's going to tell you a different story. Nvidia has a higher market cap. So what does that mean? That means that Nvidia also has more outstanding shares. There's more of the pie in the market. So remember, when you're buying a company from an investment standpoint, not necessarily a trading standpoint, what you're buying is a company, right? So look at the company as being a pizza, and that pizza is cut up into different slices. So Nvidia has more slices. Berkshire has less slices. But it doesn't mean that one's a better pizza or a more valuable pizza than the other one, right? And again, I'm also not saying that Nvidia is a better company to buy or Berkshire is a better company to buy, because anything we say here is for educational, informational purposes only. This is not investment advice. This is not trading advice, right? So just understand that market cap is important because there's a lot of things that goes into it, right? So the one thing is, how are they valuing it? So what's the price? But the other thing is how much is that pie broken up? How much is that pie broken up? So one of the things that's been happening, it's been a trend, I would say, over the last decade. It's been done in years past, but last decade has become more prevalent. A way of returning value to shareholders as opposed to paying a dividend, especially as we move into a climate where tech is the kind of our most dominant sector, and a lot of tech companies don't pay a dividend. But one of the ways that they reward shareholders is by doing buybacks, right? So if I have a lot of shares outstanding in the market and I go into the market and then buy back shares as a company, what does that do? It reduces the slices of that pizza. So now your slice is worth more. So there's a lot of reasons, and Kamari can touch on the fact of, even from a tax standpoint, that actually helps you because dividends are taxable. So instead of me paying you a dividend, I'll take that same capital and go buy back shares. Now your shares are more valuable, but guess what's not happening there? You're not getting a taxable event. Am I correct in saying that, Kamari?
Absolutely correct.
All right, so I gotta run it. Listen, I run everything by my tax guy. My tax guy just happens to be my business partner and my brother. So it's good to have your tax guy around you all the time. So I say all that to say, market cap is important for a long-term investor, And it's also important as a trader, right? So we do trade. And I'll say this every week because some people are hearing me and some people aren't. Everybody should not be a trader, right? I know that kind of goes against what we're teaching and what we're talking about, but it's a reason, right? Because I believe that 90% or more people should just buy an ETF and just mind their business. I don't even think most people should buy individual stocks. You know what I'm saying? But for some of us, that 10% or so that actually want to learn, that want to build, that want to trade, that want to, dig a little bit deeper, pause into the actual market and what it has to offer, we're going to talk about the trading aspect of market cap as well. But I always preface those by saying everybody shouldn't trade, especially those that don't have time to, study and put some effort into your craft, because yes, it is a craft, and you should be looking at this almost every day, to be honest with you, if you're a trader, seeing what's going on from a macroeconomic standpoint and a microeconomic standpoint when you look at specific companies. So let's get into it though. Liquidity and option value of market cap, right? So Corey, a lot of times uses screeners. We have I think the first class in the series, Corey went over one of the screeners that he uses to find companies to invest in terms of trading or long-term investments. And one of the things that Corey uses is market cap. So Corey, I'm gonna ask you to chime in here. What kind of market cap companies are you looking to trade? When you go look for a company to trade, how do you use market cap in determining which company you even want to look at?
I like to use market cap to determine those companies because the bigger the company is, generally, the more shares that's out there. That means two things. The spread is going to be smaller, which means I can get my money in without them beating me in the head most of the time, which means I got volume. And two, the biggest and best companies normally bounce back. And I like to bottom feed sometimes. So if the company is a good company, it's a large company, and it's falling on hard times, chances are that company is going to bounce back. So if I catch it at a point where it's not at its highest or it's been taking a beating for, a couple weeks, I'm in for that, because that means I'm about to make me a lot of money, because that company is generally going to come back.
Okay. All right. So, yeah. So, I mean, that's one of the ways that it's used. And I'll, go over the slide that when you look at large cap stocks, they have higher trading volume, which leads to what Corey just said, tight bid-ask spreads, right? So when we're entering in a contract as a trader, we're looking at the bid-ask spread. And me, I only trade one thing on a lower time preference, which is SPY. It has the tightest bid-ask spreads because it's such a large cap ETF, and it's so much volume and activity. So example would also include Apple, Microsoft, and Amazon, which are included in SPY, by the way. But if you look at those actual options contracts, they tend to have tight bid-ask spreads. But now we get into the small cap stocks, right? Smaller companies, because they have small caps. And we'll talk about what that means in a second. They often have low option liquidity. So it's fewer contracts, which means that the bid-ask spread is a lot wider. And you can get yourself in trouble doing that because, again, your entry is very important, whether your contract will make money or lose money, whether that's short or long term, right? Even if you're buying a long term, our thing is about, we love leaps. But if your entry is wrong, that can mess up your entire leap. So you could be sitting on a leap for 2 or 3 years, and you would have made money if you would have had a better entry. So the bid-ask spread is very important. So in terms of a preference for a trader, options on large cap stocks are preferred due to higher liquidity and also easier exit strategies, right? It's easier exit strategies because by them being so liquid, it's easier to get out. I told a story a couple of weeks ago about how I had to go through the experience of losing money dealing with penny stocks. And I would be right on my analysis, but I couldn't get out of the actual trade. So who cares if I'm right? Anyway, let's talk about the market caps, right? So if you're looking at a mega cap stock, we're talking about more than $200 billion. And it's funny because I don't know if we need to create a new bucket, right? But these have been around since I was in college, and I'm an ancient man. So that's a long time ago. And even when I studied to get my securities license, this was one of the questions was about the different caps. So these probably should be updated because at that time, I say that to say at that time, there wasn't $1 trillion companies, right? Now we have $1 trillion companies. So I don't know, maybe we need something that's bigger than a mega cap stock. I don't know, but mega cap stocks are things that are more than 200 billion. Then we can go to large cap stocks, which are 10 billion to 200 billion. Mid cap, which would be considered 2 billion to 10 billion. Small cap, 300 million to 2 billion. And then even below that, we have what's known as a micro cap stock, which is 50 million to 300 million. Now, I know that when Corey trades, Corey is not really messing with small caps or micro caps and probably not even mid caps. Corey's probably only looking at large or mega cap stocks to trade. Right? Would I be right in saying that, Corey?
100%.
Yeah, right. So, but I preface that because like it's not to say that you can't make money with small or micro caps, but it's like that's a whole different skill set, and you have to do a lot more analysis of those companies because I've seen several micro cap companies who they became an ancestor. They're not even with us no more because again, it's riskier the further you go down this this market cap. Like when you get to the smaller the micro caps, that's a very risky investment or trade, right? And the reason I say that is because a lot of our trading, even though we talk about trading, you could also classify as investment. We're talking about buying contracts 2 and 3 years out, leaps, so to speak. Some will say that's not necessarily trading, that's investing as well. You're just leveraging your bet on that specific company. But if you're doing it on a micro cap company and you're buying a 2-3 year option, first of all, you may not have any available. But then second of all, in 2 or 3 years, if you're buying a micro cap, it might not even be in business anymore. So, I also stick to the mega cap, large cap stocks. You know what I mean? Now, not to say that I don't trade or even invest in anything small cap or even mid cap, but it means I have to do a lot of due diligence. I have to do a lot of research. I have to understand who management is. Because at the end of the day, when we're talking about investing and or trading, management is very important. How are they allocating capital to make that business a successful business? So I even research into who's in the management if I'm going to, make a trade or investment all the way down small or micro cap, because to me, that's very important. So volatility considerations in market cap. So small cap stocks, like we said, are more volatile. They have expensive options due to higher implied volatility sometimes, right? So mid-cap stocks, it's a balance between growth and manageable volatility. So sometimes people will trade mid-cap stocks because it gives you a little bit of both worlds, it's right in the middle. So it gives you a little bit of the more growth, but also some of the explosiveness that you may get with a small cap stock. And some people like small cap stocks. Don't get me wrong. They like buying them as investments. Some people still trade penny stocks. That's their thing. But again, I'm not saying you shouldn't do it, but I'm saying it takes a lot of research and a lot of time. And for me, it's not worth the time. And that's just my personal belief. Large cap stocks are stable though. Sometimes they are less volatile. So it may offer lower returns, right? But again, that's why Corey said what he said. His strategy is finding large cap stocks that have fallen for whatever reason, because the market is very emotional. So you find a large cap good company that's fallen. He likes to ride it back up because he knows it's going to come back, because it is a large cap quality company. And that's why even when trading outside of investing, you want to make sure that you understand that this is represented by a company. Because if you feel like that company is beat up and that company has the ability to bounce back, one of the trades I gave a couple weeks ago, and for those that aren't in the village, get in the village by going to blackwealthrebels.com. But I was talking in there about Nike and looking at how Nike was beat up. And when you look at Nike, I mean, it's a quality company. I don't know how much growth is left, but at the same time, I don't believe that it will stay beat up. And that's not investment advice. I was going over this in the village, Joe, so I'm using this as an example of being a bigger company that, a trade like months ago that we gave online was when Starbucks was beat up. And Starbucks has bounced back since, right? So sometimes we're looking for those companies that we know aren't going anywhere, but because of people's emotions and whatever happens and, from a macro standpoint in the economy, they tend to share price tends to go down a little bit. So option strategies vary based on volatility. High volatility stocks, they favor straddles or strangles for large price swings, while low volatility stocks are suitable for covered calls or cash secure puts because you can generate income. We've talked a little bit about covered calls and cash secure puts. We'll do full classes on both of those, as well as a full class on the straddles and strangles. So stay tuned for that. But these are just different strategies that you can use when trading options. And you can look at the market cap of a company to determine which strategy you want to use. That's the point in bringing that up. So earnings and market events and how that has an impact, right? So when you look at the market cap of a company, and we always have events that happen, there's calendars and things out there that will give you the information in terms of when earnings are coming up quarterly for companies. But with large cap stocks, they react more predictably to earnings reports. When you have Fed decisions or macroeconomic news, large cap stocks are more predictable, right? So when White Boy Jerome gets on TV and says whatever he says, with a large cap company, I'm not saying it won't swing, but it's more predictable because like when you get into a small cap stocks, you'll start to see extreme price swings during earnings reports, which makes them riskier, right? To even trade or invest in around earnings. Because if you have a small cap stock and the wrong thing is said, like let's use White Boy Jerome as an example. He says the wrong, and for those who don't know who I'm talking about Jerome Powell. That's what we call him in the village, White Boy Jerome, because he's a white guy named Jerome, which is kind of never mind. But if you have a small cap stock and you have an earnings report or a Fed decision and White Boy Jerome says something, you can have an extreme swing, which will devalue any option that you may have. And it's not to say that the news it goes against you with a large cap stock that it won't swing, but it won't be as violent. I mean, that's the term I'm going to use. You might see a violent swing. Core, I know you've been trading for years. Can you talk a little bit about like some of the violent swings you may see with a small cap company with news that may not be favorable news?
Yeah, I was especially during COVID, right? So every time he would announce something as far as what the interest rates was going to be and all of that stuff, every time he would announce something, it was sending the stock shooting up 10 or down 10, 12%.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
that's not even a day. That's in a couple minutes.
Yeah, like so during COVID times, that was crazy to me. You know what I mean? Like so.
But that's an excellent point, though, Corey, because the one thing you said that I should also point out, because I always talk about the negative, right? But if you're on the right side of that news, it also can shoot up as well.
Oh, yeah.
And so that means that on the smaller cap stock, you could, theoretically see a higher return if the news goes your way. But that's the thing. Is more risk, more reward. How much risk are you willing to take? I say be careful trading during earnings in general, but I think it's important to understand how market cap and the size of a specific company can be affected when you talk about market events and earnings. So that's the point of this. And also straddles, right? Traders might prefer small to mid cap stocks for greater post earnings movement where you can, run a straddle. So when you get to that level of being a trader, then you may want to, take that risk because you put the time in and understand your analysis to get a higher movement up. Like Corey said, I think that's an excellent point. It's not just one way. You know what I mean? Even though we want it to be one way, it's the other way, meaning that you can make a lot of money or you could lose a lot of money in a short period of time. But the size of that company can have an impact on that. So option pricing and implied volatility. Large cap stocks generally have lower implied volatility, making their options cheaper relative to some of the small cap stocks. And again, this is not always. So I want to make sure I say, generally speaking. So small cap stocks often have a higher IV, making options more expensive due to anticipated price swings. If we're looking at options pricing and implied volatility. So one strategy will be to sell high IV options on small cap stocks, right? You sell the options to capitalize on inflated premiums. And then you buy low IV options on large cap stocks when you anticipate a volatility increase. That is a strategy for some of our more experienced traders. I know some of them are actually in the comments now, like Dina. Dina gets busy. You know what I mean? So I know that, she can probably take advantage of some of these strategies. But for a lot of us that are just starting, right? A lot of folks that are just starting, this just gives you an idea of how to use market cap. I wouldn't say even look into doing any of this right now. Right now, you're just building upon your information and your knowledge. So we can get into some of the more advanced strategies later. You know what I mean? So let's talk about hedging and risk management, right? So you talk about large cap stocks, right? Sometimes they'll use options or whatever to hedge portfolios due to market stability, right? So large cap stocks, if you own a bunch of large cap stocks and you believe long term that it's going up, sometimes you may hedge against that large cap position by having an option. Small cap stocks are considered more speculative, right? So they're not ideal for traditional hedging. Now, some will say hedging. What does a hedging mean, right? And I want to get into that. We talked about that in a couple classes ago. But again, I want to make sure I go slow and explain this, because that's one of the ways that options in general are used outside of just trying to speculate to make money. If you have a large position, all right, and what I mean by a large position is you may have, hundreds of thousands of millions of dollars tied up in a position. I mean, even if you don't, right, but you want to hedge losing money in the short term versus the long term. Sometimes you'll buy an option that's going against your overall thesis. So if your overall thesis is that this company is going up in value over 10, 15 years, but short term they may lose money. You may hedge by buying an option, right? And a lot of times that works with large cap stocks. Is not necessarily a thing that's used in small cap stocks. Not saying, again, this is generally speaking. I want to make sure I say that. I know folks be in the comments like, well, no, I can. This is all generally speaking, right? So an example, right? A fund holding S&P 500 stock might buy put options on SPY to hedge against downside risk. So if I'm long the S&P 500, right, I own, SPY, I own VOO, I own the various ways that you can get access to the S&P 500. What I might do is buy some put options short term on SPY. So if I feel like, in the short term is going to fall because I'm looking at what's going on from a macroeconomic standpoint, I know White Boy Jerome getting ready to say something crazy. I might buy a put option because, again, as my long position goes down in value, my put will go up. So that's how I hedge. And again, this is often used with large cap, not small cap. Index options and ETFs. So market cap influence, right? So the market cap affects index options trading, right? Such as the S&P 500, SPX or SPY, or, NASDAQ options, NDX. Large cap ETFs, popular for options trading due to diversification and liquidity. So SPY, QQQ, DIA. And again, we do use ETFs often in our trading. Also our long-term positions as well, because to be completely honest with you guys, and I've shared this in the village, I've shared this on a Sunday class, my largest positions personally are within 3 ETFs. I actually only own about 3 individual companies. I don't, in those companies, there's stuff that I've studied and I have long positions in, but to me, and very transparent, like I've got thousands of shares in Top T. So, and I share that all the time. And I do it for a reason because I want to be transparent with what I own. Small cap ETFs are more volatile and favored for aggressive directional plays. An example would be IWM. So, it's not that we don't use small cap ETFs. In fact, if you watch our Sunday class every Sunday, often when we give our play, which we do behind the village now. So for those that are in the village, after we finish this market cap class, we're going to have another short class in the village, probably in about an hour or so, where we talk about what we're looking at this upcoming week in the market. But we often talk about a lot of small cap ETFs. We love trading ETFs. Again, I like to use this word. They're less violent as it pertains to volatility sometimes, specifically the ones that we trade. And for a lot of people that are just getting into trading, I think that it's best to start in the ETF. Not that you can't trade companies, because we talk about that as well, but ETFs are a great place to start. So traders that are bullish on large cap stocks might trade calls on SPY, while those expecting small cap growth might buy calls on IWM. So when you're looking at what's going on overall in the economy and the market, that may help you make a decision in terms of whether you're going to buy something that is a large cap or a small cap, even in the ETF space. And for those who don't know what an ETF is, it's an exchange traded fund. In fact, last week, our entire Sunday class was breaking down what an ETF is. So if you missed that, go back and watch last Sunday's class about ETFs. So some key takeaways for options traders, for those that are looking to trade, right? Large cap stocks trade for stability, liquidity, and predictable movements. Small caps used for volatility-based strategies, but you have to manage those risks carefully. Remember, you can also sell options in high IV environments and buy in low IV environments. That's a specific strategy as you get more advanced with your options trading. But I would say number 4 is important as you're getting started. For those that are just getting started, no, majority of the folks that watch this are just getting started. Before you start getting into your favorite companies or things that you may see on social media, if you decide you want to get into trading, and again, I'm going to say it again, most people probably shouldn't trade, start with ETFs, right? And you have small, large, and mid-cap ETFs that you can start with. So you can, play around with the ETFs before you start to move forward, right? So market cap is crucial in determining which stocks to trade options on, but should be used alongside technical analysis, volatility metrics, in market conditions if you want to get optimal results, right? It's not a be-all, end-all looking at market cap. Some of the other analysis tools that we talked about over the last couple of weeks should also be used, right? We talked about fundamental versus technical. We talked about what is an ETF. We talked about all kinds of things. We talked about reach. We went over everything, and we're going to continuously add to this series, like I said. So I want to open it up for any questions. Let me stop sharing my screen for a second and see if we have any questions. I don't know, Kamar, you've been manning the chat. What kind of questions, if any?
I do have a thought.
Go ahead. You got a thought? Hey, thoughts are welcome too. What's your thought, beloved? Anything you want to add, you or Corey?
Yeah, please, everybody that's in the comments, in the chat, in the audience, put in your likes, comments, shares, your thoughts, questions. Also put them in the chat. But I'm sitting there and I'm looking at all the companies, because you brought up what company did you bring out? NVIDIA.
Berkshire, Nvidia.
NVIDIA is a $3 trillion company. Berkshire is a $1 trillion company.
Yes.
I realized Berkshire had eclipsed that 1T spot.
Yeah, it was a big news. It was months ago when they eclipsed it, because of the thing that made that interesting when they eclipsed it, it was the first non-tech company to do so.
Right. But
that was like a big deal.
Is in that club, NVIDIA's in that club. Meta, Amazon, but then I saw Broadcom's in there. It's like, wow.
Yeah, and that's why I said that maybe we need to rethink the whole mega cap thing, because like those have been around for so long, probably before I was born. I just remember them from when I was taking finance in college, and also when I was studying for my securities license. I remember those questions, and I'm like, well, at the time, there wasn't $1 trillion companies, right?
Not at all.
So what happens in our market, in our overall economy, is amazing to see, like the growth. Now, some will say that it's not real growth, and we can get into that in a different time. A lot of it's built upon speculation. Those values may be inflated, but they are what they are, right? Again, price, value, cost are three different things. But I think market cap is important to look at overall as an investor, specifically when you're talking about buying something long-term, right? This is why the top T that I buy, to me, is one of my biggest positions, because it's literally the top 20 companies, and that's by market cap as well, right? So all the companies you named, I have exposure to, whether that's Berkshire, Broadcom, Nvidia, Facebook, Amazon. And again, I'm not telling anybody to buy that. I've given you my analysis several times in the village and also on YouTube on why that's one of my biggest positions. I also said that the S&P 500 to me is kind of the foundation of a portfolio in general. Most people don't beat the market. Corey told a story about how he beat the market, but it was costing him so much time that he said, I'd rather just buy the market as opposed to spending all this time to beat the market, right? So, so that's a little bit about market cap, how market cap can be used as a trader, how it can be used as an investor, why it's important. So anybody got any thoughts, any questions, any concerns, anything they want to add to the conversation? We got a number of folks watching. Please, the chat is wide open. Say anything you want to say.
Not anything. Pause.
Man, you want to say, yo, that sucked. I'm cool with that too.
Say pause on it.
Yeah, I did pause that. I did. Look at this, cool. We got Kamari. Yeah, we got Kamari say that he can't even help it.
This is why I mind my business, man. This is why, because Kamari, he was like, I hate pause. I'm too old for this shit. And then now all of a sudden, now all of a sudden, he the pause police.
That pause cracked, so we're gonna have fun with it. That's all.
All right, y'all. So listen, for those that aren't in the village, make sure you go to blackwealthrebels.com to be in the village. Right, that's where we actually trade at. And make sure you can get in the chat too. If you have a problem getting in the chat, please let me know, because I have gotten some feedback. People didn't know how to get in the chat. But we are in there. Carlos is in there too. Carlos be trading. Carlos gets to it too. I've seen Carlos cook a couple trades in the chat. As a new options investor, what are some of the tools that is needed? Shows to watch, apps to have, and magazines. And when day does Jerome speak? Great question, right? So first thing I would say is, and then this is going to sound counterintuitive. Make sure you want to be an options trader. You're saying you want to be an options investor, right? So a couple things I would say is stick to educating yourself before you jump into anything. You can even play with paper trade accounts, which are available to you to make sure you understand things. I've given this as a tool for people. If you want to have a text to read, it actually sits on my desk because I refer to it often. It's my favorite book on leaps. It's written by Mike Wynn, although I think that's Nancy Pelosi's pen name, as I said several times. The book is called Intrinsic. Don't get paid from this book, you know what I'm saying? But I think that is that. As a matter of fact, I'll put the link to that book in the chat real fast, because I think that studying right now, as you're just getting started, is very important. And that's a book that I would recommend. The other books that I recommend that people like to laugh at, but I think that it's important, are actually the dummies books, right? Dummies books for technical analysis and dummies book for fundamental analysis, right? I always recommend those books. And people say, yo, you recommended a dummies book? Yo, some of those dummies books are fire, right? Some of those dummies books are
The Dummies books are genius.
What'd you say, Kamar?
The Dummies books are genius.
Yes, like it really is. And I say that and people are like, are you serious? I'm like, no. You can really like learn a lot specifically about technical and fundamental analysis. So I'm gonna put this book in the comments. You know what I'm saying? There you go. Boom. There it is right there. That's intrinsic. That's this one right here. I think this is an excellent book to start with. So LG 007, I would say focus on studying. Chop it up with us every Sunday. But in terms of like TV shows to watch, CNBC is kind of a, you know, is something to watch. You can watch that during the course of a trading day. Apps to have. So for me, this good question. My favorite app for trading is TradingView. I use TradingView, and I do have a paid subscription to TradingView, but that's my favorite one. Yahoo Finance is another good one. Market Watch is another good one. Corey's boo is FinViz. I know that's who Corey loves, FinViz, which is also a free tool, by the way. FinViz is a free tool. So yeah, FinViz is good. I use TradingView.
Bloomberg.com is
another good one.
Yeah.
So LG007 says, yes, man, I'm sure currently being trading. That's a good one too. I got that book as well.
Hold on, we didn't answer that whole question. He asked the question about White Boy Jerome. So White Boy Jerome, who is the head of the Federal Reserve, he speaks every month, usually 2 days a month on a Wednesday. So like, what month are we in now? Excuse me, it's not every month, like every other month, but it depends. What month are we in now?
That's how you know Kamar get money. He said, what month are we in? We in February, dog.
All right, so he's not on the schedule right now, but there's a schedule. I'll put it in the chat as well. So March 18th through the 19th, he's talking. May 6th through 7th, he's talking. June 17th and 18th, he's talking. The July 29th and 30th, he's talking. September 16th and 17th, he's talking. October 28th and 29th.
I think we get at this point. There's already the schedules out there, man.
Every other month. But some people learn auditory. Some people like to read. We want to cover all the basics.
All right.
In the chat.
All right, that's what's up. So yeah, so that's a answer to that. In terms of magazines, I used to have magazines that I would read, but it's funny because over time they've become less and less relevant because when you talk about the markets, they move so fast. Half of the magazines I used to read aren't even in existence anymore. They don't exist anymore. Like business magazines and like just straight investing magazines don't even really exist anymore. I mean, you got like Fortune and Barron's and stuff like that still make, but most of that's digital now. So I would say that a lot of it you can get like from a digital standpoint. So Yahoo Finance to me has a lot of great information. Let me go into my tool shit. I got a couple other apps too, like, you know, a couple other sites that I use. One is called stockcharts.com. I like that one. Stockcharts.com, Yahoo Finance, FinViz, TradingView. These are all different sites and things you can use. Morningstar, that's back there too.
Morningstar's trash.
It depends upon what you're looking at. I mean, it's you got personal beef with Morningstar. Like that was like you just said that very aggressive. Like I don't know what they did. They overcharged you with something, dog. Like what was that about?
Actually, they did, but that's a whole.
Okay, yeah. That sounds a little personal right there. Like hey, shout out to this, and that's one of my favorite people in the entire world. Leaf is in the building. She said Kamari got that guap. He said, "What month are we in?" Yeah, that's how you know he got that bread. Like when a dude asks you, "Yo, what month we in?" He didn't say what day is it, right? You know what I'm saying? Us poor folks might ask what day is it. He said, "What month are we in?"
Listen, it's tax season. Tax season, everything's a blur. Sorry, y'all.
So throw those sites in the chat, please. All right, cool. We can do some of that. All right, so Corey Kamari, y'all gotta help me. Throw some sites in the chat, man.
I got you.
All right, that's what's up. So TradingView was one. I threw the book in there. This is the book. Like if you really want to learn to do long-term leap trading, then this is it right here. I know Corey got a tool shit of stuff to use too.
Real quick question: is that
so? We got a whole Google Classroom full of stuff. I gotta go dig up that Google Classroom.
All right, here's what I'll say. Here's what I'll say. Everybody, make sure you join the village. And by the way, it doesn't cost to get in the village. There are paid tiers. The paid tiers do get more. I'm not gonna lie to you. But if you go to blackwealthrebels.com, we're gonna put together a comprehensive list of tools. We're gonna put it in the village because it'll be easier just to kind of do it that way. Because Corey is right. We do got a whole Google Classroom full of different tools. A couple years ago, me and Corey was at the point we were spending like damn near $1,000 a month just for like access to like tools until we narrowed it down to a smaller number. What was the one, John, we used to pay like $400 a month for, Core?
Market Chameleon.
Yeah, Market Chameleon. We used to pay $400 a month just for one piece of software, right? But that's how serious we were about what we were doing. But Market Chameleon is another good one. We paid a grip for that. We paid for a couple other things too, but TradingView is my favorite, right? I'm not gonna lie to you. And the reason TradingView is my favorite is because what I realized is once I upgraded to the paid tier of TradingView, a lot of the stuff that I can get from all the other sites I have all under one roof. And TradingView is matter of fact, let me share some stuff on TradingView real fast while we're here.
Hold on real quick, Jim, before you do that.
Go ahead.
I know you love the intrinsic book, but what is basic introductory book on options trading?
All right, so the basic, honestly, would be the dummy series. I would go to the dummy series. There's dummies on options trading, there's dummies on fundamental analysis, and there's dummies on technical analysis. So those would be the very basics, and I think that those are very powerful. And I also get a kick out of recommending those because people, they be like, the dummy series. I'm telling y'all, the dummy series is fire to learn a lot. If you want to like really learn something, I would always start there and then go from there. Intrinsic is my favorite book by far in terms of like leaps, but leaps is my number one strategy. But in terms of this options trading, I would really go to the dummy series. I'm not even gonna lie to you. All right, but let me share something real fast and let me pull this up. What I like about TradingView.
Oh wow. Shelby in there sniping at me. So Shelby is my childhood friend. So
what Shelby say about Billy Ocean? Oh, for Billy Ocean to not know what month is in, especially when it's Black History Month, we get into the bag. Also, I want to shout out Shelby for something else though. Outside of him putting that Kamari, Shelby is also a master trader who trades in our community too. So he be in the chat too. So shout out to Shelby. Shelby is back there. Dina is back there. You know what I mean? Carlos is back there. So, I'm back there. We trading, talk about what we trading. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Shelby for that. But also shout out to Shelby for, putting Billy Ocean out there, man.
Yeah, we know.
No, but that was a crazy statement. My man said, what month we in? Like
Tomorrow. I got it.
So Nicole says, we starting on a dummy series for beekeeping. Oh, okay.
Wow.
That's right, Nicole. Listen, Nicole is a beekeeper. Shout out to Nicole.
The honey hustler.
Yeah. So listen, let us know when the book is available or when it's done or whatever, because we're gonna support that. You know what I'm saying? We definitely gonna support that. All right. So let me get to this chart here. First of all, I gotta jump off my minute chart, Corey, because I'm down here with the savages on the minute.
Yo, chart. You with the undesirables?
Dog, when I be day trading, I be with the undesirables. I be with all the people from District 12. We be down there.
Thanks, Shelby and Jimmy. Come on, man. Y'all can't be giving away all these secrets, man.
Yeah. Shelby. Kamari's childhood nickname is Billy Ocean. You know what I'm saying? One of them. Oh, we gotta find the other though. It might be something worse than that.
I had to pay cats off, not the divulge.
Yeah, I gotta find some more of them, man. I know about the Billy Ocean one. Life has no meaning. My fault. There's beauty up above. All right, here we go. SPY. Looking at SPY. Let me share this. Wake up and suddenly.
Thank you for joining us, Jay Phillips. Much appreciated.
All right, so here's my chart on SPY. Right.
I hear the slander.
I'm not saying nothing, bro. I'm just singing a little song on a Sunday, man. You know what I mean?
Jimmy is savage, bro. That was crazy.
All right. Anyway, here's my SPY chart right here. And for those who know, I only use one strategy when I trade, which is my Keltner channels. I believe in them. I will die on this hill. That's all I need as a mean reversion trader. But what I like about TradingView is outside of me being able to chart, right, and have my little watch list over here, which are the various ETFs that we talked about, so I can go click from one to the other. So if I want to look at what's going on real estate, which is XLRE, which is the ETF that we mentioned, ETFs, and I can see, boom, it brings it up with my chart. What else do we got? XLU, that's the utilities, right? So if I want to look at the ETF for all the utilities, I could just jump to that, right? XLP. Consumer staples. But now, if I want to look at a specific company, let's just say that I want to let's look at Apple. Everyone loves Apple. AAPL, right? I look at Apple. Now I can look at the price action of Apple here, but now from a technical standpoint, I can see what's going on with Apple. This is a daily chart. So the last several days, Apple has been up. You see those green candles going up, right? And this is the 200-day moving average. This is the moving average right here, the white line. But now, what I like about TradingView is I can then click this button and I can get into the financials of Apple right here in the same company, right? We talked about market cap today. The market cap is 3.67 trillion. I can see how much debt they have, right? Apple has $96.8 billion of debt. And
Wait a minute. I got a question.
Yes.
Is there an affiliate for TradingView? We're giving them bad pub right now.
We are. I'm gonna chill for a second, right? I'm gonna chill. Like I said, I'm gonna show a couple things on the. This is the last thing I'm gonna share on the public airways. We're gonna go back to the village in a second anyway, because we got the second half of the show to do. We're gonna talk about some of the plays we're looking at this week. But I just want to share this real fast, though. We are doing a lot, Kamar. You're right about that. It gives you everything. Look, you can see the number of employees that Apple has, who the CEO is, what the website is, the earnings per share, price to earnings ratio. We got a whole class just on that. The dividend yield, what year it was founded. That's crazy to think that this company was founded in 1976 and it's worth 3.67 trillion. You talk about a lot of value creation and wealth generation. Yeah. So about Apple, engages in the design, manufacturing, and sale of smartphones, personal computers, tablets, wearables, and accessories. I would add to that they're a church. Number of shares outstanding. It gives you all the different things. All the things. As Neef would say, all the things, right? So anyway, if you look at quarter over quarter, it gives you what the performance is. Revenue to profit conversion. So you get all of this information. And here's what I like to see too. I come to companies sometimes. Excuse me. I come to companies sometimes and I go all the way back here to where it says revenue breakdown, right? Because everybody has an opinion of how they believe companies make their money, but they give you the information. Apple still makes the majority of its money from the iPhone. Over 50% of the money that's generated from Apple comes from the iPhone. People know they sell computers. People know that they sell smartphones. Smartphones. They sell tablets. They sell services such as Apple TV, Apple Health, all the different things, iTunes, but they still make over 50% just from the iPhone alone. So then you can look at the iPad. The iPad, they make about 6% of their money from the iPad, 6.83%. MacBooks are 7%. So that's also interesting to see this, right? So I've been following Apple for a while, and it's interesting to see the iPad catch up to the MacBook. This always wasn't as close, but this gives you an idea of what's going on with the company, right? iPads are becoming just as prevalent as a MacBook now, which means that people are replacing their actual laptops with iPads.
To move the mobile.
Yeah, people are moving to mobile. That gives you an idea from a macro standpoint and a micro standpoint with Apple, right? Because the thing about the iPhone being 51%, the iPhone used to be a lot more than 51%, but they've kind of spread it out. Now they're making 24.59% in services. Those services include Apple TV, all the different things that you pay Apple for, right? They got the whole thing where you can like buy games and all that kind of stuff. Not the Game Pass, whatever it's called. Look at this. This little line item is getting bigger too, right? This wasn't always close to 10%. Wearables, right? So the watch has been selling a lot as well too. How many people that are watching this actually have an Apple Watch, right? But it's 9.46%. So I always like to look at this when I look at companies, because sometimes you'll see, let me check this real fast. Sometimes you'll see a company and you'll see they make all their money in one space. And you're like, it's a long-term investment. Am I okay with that, considering they make all their money in one space? Let me look at Google. I haven't looked at this in a while.
While you're looking it up, Jimmy, I'm going to say this real quick. Jimmy used to love looking at this on Thinking Swim. Mm-hmm. So one of the reasons why we both love TradingView is because they're always increasing their product or improving their product. It's not a commercial, but just talking a little bit about the backstory, why he loves the product. Yeah. And I mean, what they've done is phenomenal, because they didn't have this 2 years ago.
Yeah. So Google Cloud is because Google used to make damn near all their money from services like, the search and all that kind of stuff. But now Google Cloud is about 12%. So, and also over here, by the way, too, it tells you by country where they're making their money at in terms of, how they make their money. Obviously, for Google, like the U.S. is about close to 50%, but it also shows you that they're getting money in different places. You know what I'm saying? Give me another company, a company that may not.
Look at Amazon real quick.
Who?
Amazon.
AMZN. Let's look at Amazon.
Because people don't realize they make a lot of their money from the cloud also.
Let's see. Silly blind man. Boom. So here's how Amazon's bread is broken down. Their biggest chunk of money is made from their online store, right? It's about 38%. Next,
I think it's more though, right? Normally. Just
it's shifting, but that's the great thing about the Amazon business is over the years they've added lines of business that have shifted and made it such a valuable company. But peep this though, 38% from the online store, right? They make 24% from third-party sellers. That's dope because that means that a lot of that money is coming from other people just using their platform, not the stuff that they're selling, but they're making that much money.
Or what a lot of Black creators and business people on Amazon say, Amazon steals their shit and resells it. That's a known thing.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Amazon don't do it. Amazon is gangster, right? Yes. I've seen actual brands, like big brands, will put something and they want to sell it through Amazon, and then within like 2 weeks, we got what's the joint called the Amazon Basics version of whatever they're selling. I mean, it's the same thing the big box retailers have been doing for a while. They'll get a Black-owned company or any company in, right? And next thing you know, we got great value, fill in the blank. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, you put me on your shelf just so you can like really see what I'm doing and create the great value version. Anyway, I digress. Here's the other part, right? Amazon Web Services, to Kamari's point, that's now close to 17% of the money they make. That's just on like the Amazon Cloud Services right there. AWS 17%. And that's a huge number when you look at the overall earnings. We're talking about billions of dollars.
Shout out to JT. Appreciate the super chat, brother.
Shout out to JT, man. JT was the big winner on Friday. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to JT. Advertising services, 8%. Subscription services, 6.96%. So how many of us are Amazon Prime members? That makes up 7% of the income, right? So I think this is dope. You get a lot of look at this one part. They got physical stores that are doing about 3% now. So think about the fact that Amazon now has physical stores making 3% of their business.
That don't have no employees or very little employees.
I was just in where the hell was I at? I was in an airport and I was in an Amazon store. I think I was in Europe though, but there's an Amazon store in the joint where you just, you walk in, you hit your car, walk in, do what you're gonna do, and walk right out. No employees. It was like one person there just to you're watching, but that was it. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, this is a tool that I use a lot of times on TradingView. It's very powerful because a lot of people associate TradingView just with the technical analysis and the charts and the squiggly lines, but you can get a lot of information back here.
Rich.
Let me see, seasonals. Like you get a lot of information back here. So you can look across like previous years and see from a seasonal standpoint how the company has performed on the market, the valuation, right? That's on here. What else we got on here? We'll do some forecasting. It gives you 63 analysts and what they believe will happen with Amazon. Man, some of them are saying that Amazon should reach $306 per share. Amazon right now is $268.
I totally ignore analysts.
I mean, you're your own analyst, right? I mean, that's the whole idea is for us to become our own analysts. But sometimes people want to see what other analysts are saying. Right now, overall, they're saying that Amazon is a strong buy, which is based on 73 analysts giving their stock ratings over the past 3 months. That 59 of them say that Amazon is a strong buy right now. 10 say that it's just a buy, not a strong buy, but a buy. And 4 are saying it's a hold. But there's no analysts that have been they've given their recommendation that said that Amazon is a company that you should be selling right now, right? And again, not investment advice. I'm just showing you what's back here. And I think it's powerful, but that's why this is my personal favorite go-to site when it comes to doing analysis. It's not the only one, but it's my favorite one. Rich is in the building. What's good, Rich? Hey, Rich, where you at on the fold list, B? I know my brother Rich, man. Me and Rich are like irrationally long fold, you know what I'm saying? So I want to know where you at on the list. What is a good plan to start with TradingView besides the free version? So what are the various tiers? Because what I would say is start with the free version, and then when you're ready to go to the next one, you can go to the next one. Because what tends to happen with TradingView is you get more indicators the more you're willing to pay. I don't even have the highest tiered one. I think I'm somewhere in the middle because what comes with the highest tiered version, I don't need because I only use a couple indicators. I use RSI and the Keltner channel. And I have a couple other ones set up too. Like I may look at the Ichimoku screener. I don't use it, but I have Ichimoku set up. And what's Kamari's favorite? The Bollinger Bands.
So Ladina, to answer your question, I would start with the essentials. So there's three tiers: Essential, Plus, and Premium. Essential is $13, Plus is $25, Premium is $50.
Yeah, I think I'm in the middle. I'm in Plus. I got Plus.
Yeah, I got Essential. I don't really see the need for it. Make sure you get the non-professional. You don't want to get the professional plus plan because it's more expensive.
Yeah, I used to have a premium joint one year. Like, I'm gonna keep it a buck with y'all. The only reason I bought the premium one year, the top tier joint, is because I caught a Black Friday sale that was crazy, where they gave you the premium. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. Black Friday trading view go crazy on Black Friday. You get so I'm not telling you to wait, or maybe you want to wait. Maybe you want to use the free one until Black Friday. Well, I mean, it's a long time from now. But when Black Friday come around, but also what they will do is this: if you get a plan now and Black Friday comes around, like you only like they kind of prorate it where you can upgrade your plan for a certain amount of time. But Black Friday trading view got all the deals. So that's
for anybody that's looking to get a paid service. If you're not going to use it, do not get it. Let me repeat that again. If you're not going to use it, do not get it. Jimmy and Corey teased me that I have all this.
I was just getting ready to say that. I said, that's amazing advice coming from you. Kamari has every software as a service company known to man.
Now, man, slow down. So I have a lot of subscriptions, and I've been cutting them off because I find I don't use them, and I'm wasting money. So...
Kamari got subscriptions and stuff that I didn't even know offered subscriptions. I'm like, he paid like $10 a month for to get moved to the front of the line in a Poppy store. Like he got a Poppy store subscription. Like,
listen, I like that premium service, man.
Yo,
and listen, when you premium in the hood, that means a lot.
Dog, let me tell you something. All right, this is a true story. Like, this is actually economic related. There's also some hood news. I was in a Poppy store the other day. This is how I know things are out of control with inflation. Do you realize that Poppy stores are selling Lucy eggs now?
No.
They're selling egg Lucy's, bro. Like, what's going on out here? Like, you can come in and buy a Lucy egg. Like,
hey, wait a minute, Jimmy. And for those who don't know what a Lucy is, right? For everybody who's not seen through the Lucy land, Lucy's are cigarettes, single stick cigarettes that are sold a lot of times in Poppy stores. Go ahead, Jimmy. Just want to get that disclaimer.
I gotta apologize. I forgot. We got some folks who may not know what I'm talking about, right? But I apologize to those who don't know. But to me, that's a sign of what's going on in the economy. Like, so inflation is so crazy, right? Inflation is so crazy. And also, I know me and Kamari got a debate on here before because I was telling him how the CPI is trash, right? I saw the other day on the CPI where like the price of like poultry and eggs have gotten so crazy that they actually went into the CPI and lowered its impact on the CPI, because if they put the actual impact, it would kind of skew the numbers, which is why I hate the CPI as an indicator of what's going on from an inflation standpoint, right? But I say that to say this: the price of eggs is always a barometer for a lot of people of how expensive things are. So when I was in the store and I saw them selling Lucy eggs, I said, all right, this is out of control. People can't even afford in certain environments to buy a dozen of eggs because eggs are that expensive. So if they want an egg, they go buy one egg, right? So to me, I know I'm joking and saying this, but to me, it's actually not
a joke. That's real.
It's real. It's real of what's going on out here. Like, they selling Lucy eggs in the hood, yo. Like, what are we doing? Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know what's going to happen long term, but I think one of the reasons that we come on here and we talk about the things we talk about is because when you talk about investing and trading and all the things that we talk about, it's not about like getting rich anymore. You got to do some of this stuff to survive. You got to be doing something like side business, whatever you're doing, because folks are being squeezed and eventually it's going to affect all of us, right? So some folks like Kamari, he don't even know what month it is. He may not be affected for years because he got millions, but like other folks like me and Corey, like, you know what I'm saying?
You got to be easy, man. Let's not act like we don't live in Philly, man.
Act like what?
Let's not act like we don't live in Philly, man. Don't have me.
One of us moved to the suburbs, but I digress.
And where was we at yesterday?
Huh?
Where was we at yesterday?
We went to a black-owned business
every day. By the way, I live in District 12. Jimmy lives in like District 5. I'm just saying. But
man called me an erudite. I'm sorry. I got all the movie references, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm in these movie streets.
Okay.
But anyway, no, I say that to say this though. Like, all of us will eventually be affected when you start seeing them selling Lucy eggs. That's just a sign of what's going on in the world. Like,
yo, man, like that's when they raised the price of cigarettes. They start selling them
on
joints.
Lucy, yeah, because cats couldn't
That's what
afford
I'm
to buy
saying.
all.
Like, soon as you get inflation on something, they start selling them individually so people can, because I'm gonna tell you like this, man. I can't remember the last time I bought a dozen of eggs, man. Because I used to buy a box with 100 of them for $12, and that was with the higher raised up inflation prices.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's funny we bring up eggs, right? Because I talked to my homegirl the other day, and she told me to get plugged in with the local farmers who sell eggs here in Philly. And it's much cheaper, much more reasonable.
I ain't gonna lie to you. I saw them selling Lucy eggs. I was like, how much it costs for a chicken? Like, I can get my own. You know what I mean? Like,
right? Yo, we got places in Philly, and I'm just gonna say it, in Puerto Rican town where they got whole chicken coops and stuff down there. So I might have to go ahead.
That's around where I live.
They get busy.
They get busy. All right, so
here we go.
Don said it's so expensive that he can't even get $40 dates no more, man. Don said
$40 hollers is out of here.
They gone. Inflation, man. Listen, it's real. It's real out here.
The $40 hollers is now $60.
Yeah. Whoa, a whole chicken is $15. Hey, listen, how much a dozen eggs cost right now? You know what I mean? Like
you get the chicken and the egg for the same price.
Listen, man. We might have to go back, to buying chickens at this point because
we can raise some chickens on Jimmy's roof in District 5.
Here he go. See how he want to turn us into a shot? Like
what? Am I lying?
Shot.
But am I lying though? I ain't got no rooftop deck. That's all I want to say.
No comment. All right, no comment.
Acres either.
No comment, man.
Okay. All
right. So let's get back to the chat because Kamari drawing right now. All right, let's get back to the chat though. All right. So Rich was in here. Who else we got here? Said thanks so much, gratitude. All right, we got that one already.
All right.
And let's get to this one. Loose eggs. That's why. That's what's going on in the world right now, man. That's how it is. Life beyond the ring is laughing. Like it's crazy out here. It's really crazy out here. All right. Here's another one too, right? I think about this. Life Beyond the Ring says, I saw my coffee is now $10. It used to be $5.95, right? First of all, I think the idea like how coffee has become a premium like product is wild, right? But what I think about, and I think about this from a trading, even an investing standpoint, what is that price point where people like are people the same way with coffee as they are with cigarettes? Because I really feel like it doesn't matter what the price of cigarettes are, people still want to buy them, right? Cigarette prices are out of control, but those that smoke cigarettes can't not buy them. Is coffee at that point now?
Coffee's always been at that point.
So my question is, in my Stringer Bell voice, is it an inelastic or an elastic product? It's from the Stringer Bell School of Economics, by the way.
It's elastic. Now we got to do a class on inelasticity.
Yeah.
Economics 101.
That's from the Stringer Bell School of Economics, right? So is coffee elastic or inelastic, right? Are people willing to pay whatever to get their coffee? Because, like, some of y'all that be in Starbucks or in the Mocha Doka Wokas and all that kind of not. Yeah, listen, though, Starbucks is a cult, Bree. I remember my first time going to Starbucks, and he was like, "You want a tall?" Or I said, "A tall? What the hell are you talking about? Like, I just want some tea, dog."
You got tonic, grande, tall, and venti.
I mean, I know it now because, like, I had to, like,
They got Starbucks right across the street from your house.
Listen, I support coffee, creams, and dreams. I don't go to Starbucks, but what I will say is this:
Coffee, Creams, and Dreams is in District 2.
Coffee, Creams, and Dreams is a black-owned coffee shop on Fairmount Avenue for those in Philadelphia.
They're dope.
Make sure to support Coffee, Creams, and Dreams. But what I'm saying is,
Fairmount Avenue in West Philly. We're talking about Fairmount Avenue downtown.
Yes, Fairmount Avenue downtown. Yeah, like 15th and Fairmount. Coffee, Creams, and Dreams. That's who I support.
Shout out to them. Dope.
But like they say on Game of Thrones, Starbucks, I was forced to bend the knee, pause, because if you want to go there, you got to understand the language. You know what I'm saying? So, we already got to this one. Nate said he can't. Nate. Don said he can't get his $40 Nate specials because inflation is That's what the Amish do local in my area. Sell direct to consumer. Get a dozen for $3. All right, so that might be the answer. We got to find how to like Kamari said.
Yeah. No, I got it. And I'll let you know.
So that also, so again.
Let me say this real quick. My mentor, one of my mentors, who was really steeped in Black nationalism and the revolution. He said one of the greatest things Black people can do is figure out ways to shop together and be their own co-ops, because it's an instant savings. So everybody talks about cooperative economics on the make money side, but what about cooperative economics on the save money side? And so there's a lot of power in that. You see a lot of co-ops do it.
I've seen co-ops. I haven't seen any in Philly. I've seen like some down south.
There's a couple in Philly.
Okay.
Yeah. Up in Chestnut Hill and in Mount Airy.
the uppity Negroes.
Well, they're not necessarily Negroes, but
that's what I was talking about. Black co-ops.
Okay. Yeah, but anyway, there's some.
But no, that might be the move though. Like I gotta shop local. But I often think about this too. Like with inflation, we know inflation is real. Well, a lot of us know how it starts or how it exists. It's from money printing, and I could do a whole dissertation on that. But what I often think about is like how much tax is put on top of inflation, right? So if you run a large corporation or institution, how much tax are you putting on top of what's already been inflated? Because if you still can go to the local, you go local and get a whole dozen for $3, why are you charging $10? Are you adding extra tax on top of that? Because some will say that it costs more to to run your business in terms of shipping and distribution, all those kind of things. But are you taxing on top of that? And we know that people are people, so some people are taxing on top of that, right? Like I'm gonna use an example from Don operates in the underworld. Let's use an example Don was talking about. Is your $40 date really $100 now, or could you really still go for $60, but you want to add tax on it because inflation exists, so you add a little tax on it? That's what I'm saying. But we're talking about supermarkets, Starbucks, things like that. So that's all I'm saying. So some of that goes on. Who have chickens? Smart move. What'd you say, Kamari?
I said not some, a whole lot. That happens a lot.
Yeah. So I often wonder that, like, how much taxing is being done. Amish used to come selling uptown in front of Cleveland Park. Listen, man, Cleveland Park, they definitely did, and they got busy. Listen, I often go downtown to the Renton Terminal. They get busy in there. And by the way, listen, I appreciate the way they live their life. They come get money and then stay out the way. They don't mess with none of us. Any of us. They like, we live in our own world. We're gonna take y'all bread and we're gonna go back in our own world. And some of their food is fire, though. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like, I don't know what they do to their chickens, but anyway.
All natural.
Man, fire. There's also farmers markets that are open every other week. It's a huge opportunity for Black people that want to sell direct as well. All right, so shout out to Victor Kidd. Victor Kidd, that's a lot of great information. Like, something to look at. Something to look at. You know what I'm saying? Something to look at. Anyway, come on. I see you over there doing like I see you over there in your bag. I could tell that you got something that you're getting ready to share or you want to say.
No, I'm actually just retooling my trading view a little bit.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm glad I could be an inspiration for you when you saw what I showed. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate that. Anyway, listen, for those that are in the village, for those that are already a member, go to blackwealthrebels.com, right? If you're not a member, join you at blackwealthrebels.com.
Jimmy,
member.
Jimmy.
Yes, sir.
You inspire me. I know you wanted to hear that.
Yo, I just want you to know that I'm clipping that up. Y'all will see that on my Instagram, my TikTok. You know what I'm saying? You will see that on my Instagram, my TikTok. By the way, I'm at JW the Blueprint on everything.
You're gonna see it everywhere.
Oh yeah, listen, he said it now. I gotta timestamp that. Like, what time is it on this video? All right, little hour.
1 hour, 8 minutes.
Yeah. I'm clipping that up. Like, yeah,
right.
Yeah, I mean, I will make Kamari a meme. You know what I'm saying? I've already done it, but
done it several times.
I got the Baba Mar meme out there. You know what I'm saying?
By the way, y'all don't realize this, but Jimmy's trolling me every time he says, that's a Mars special. But
listen, Kamari's my brother. It's all I love, though, man. It's all I love, man. For this, listen, also, we got a couple videos that we've already recorded. We got to put up, too. We got the video, the Dr. Frazier video. So we got a lot of stuff. So pretty much every day this week, if you're in the village, you'll have some content in the village from stuff that we've already done and stuff that we will do. I got another episode of Stack Sats to Die Trying, which is my Bitcoin only podcast. The Bitcoin class, right? It will be in the week after our event. So our event is March 8th. So it'll either be on March 15th or sometime during the course of that week. I'm still waiting to get feedback from those in the village. If I give a live class, and this is going to be a master class, meaning that we're going to like really get into it. It's going to be a Bitcoin class, a Bitcoin 101, but it's going to be a master class. I'm going to talk about everything from mining, running nodes, the value proposition. I'm going to go into it all, but I want to know, do y'all want to do that on a weekday or a weekend, like a Saturday evening, or maybe a Thursday evening? I want to see what the feedback is for that, huh?
You bring your friends, I'll bring my friends.
Yeah, I'm going crazy. For those that are in a village, I'm going. This is going to be a real, a master class, as I say. Something that I would charge a couple dollars for, right? And when we deal with corporations, like we got a gig this week. I ain't gonna put no names out there. They got to pay us $2,500 an hour. That's what they pay us. But we doing this for the village. If you in the village, you about to get this. You gonna get this work. In the words of my beloved Loaded Lux, you gonna get this work.
Yo, Jimmy be talking a lot of numbers, y'all. You have me worried. If y'all ever find me died up somewhere, it's Jimmy's fault.
No, I like to be transparent. I like to be honest and transparent. Like, I'm still poor, but I like to be honest and transparent about what happens, because sometimes. All right, real quick before we get out of here, I want to say this, right? We've done a lot of work in the community, and sometimes we would do stuff for free. And a lot of times
we used to do stuff for free.
We still do stuff for free. That's true, right? Even our event on March 8th is free, right? But what I'm saying is, a lot of times people don't put value on it because it's free. But when we put a price tag on it, people put more value on it. But when we deal with corporations and things of that nature, we tax them. Like, they got to pay our actual price. So I say that, and I only bring that up because sometimes people are like, well, the stuff that you give, what's the value on it? Like, people are willing to pay for the information that we have. In this masterclass that I'm giving, I've done before. Listen, I've done this masterclass, and Corey was there. Corey and Jabbar were there. I charged $500 a head and had a classroom, right, for the same information that I'm going to give. Not the same, because it's actually going to be even more comprehensive, because I'm going to go into mining and all those kind of things. It's going to be more comprehensive. And if you're in a village, you're going to get it. Like, so that's just what it is. But we do have a free event March 8th, though. Like, people like free still. March 8th, we are in Philadelphia. We're doing a live event where we're going to do a cash mob and a pod class. So, Kamari, explain to the folks what a cash mob is for those who may not be familiar with the idea of a cash mob.
So a cash mob is when you get a minimum of 20 of your friends or people in your village, and you go support a Black-owned business, and you spend at least $20 with them. Now, that number we might have to adjust, because that was a number from like 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I had to increase it to $25. But for right now, it's $20. So the idea is bring some exposure to the Black-owned business, bring them some cash, real quick, and just to show love and to commune and have fellowship with your people in the village. Yeah.
So on March 8th, we're having a cash mob at the River Falls Boutique, also known as the Breakfast Boutique. It's right off Kelly Drive. And it's a Black-owned business. We were actually there yesterday. We actually had lunch there yesterday. We support them and everything they got going. Listen, I was telling Kamari yesterday, I'm so proud of their growth because they have multiple locations. They employ a lot of folks. Listen, they even made assistant manager one of the folks, right? So that is the power of having a business. So we want to support them by going there on March 8th from 4 to 8. But outside of, all we say is, listen, it's free. It's no charge. Just get a grub when you're there. Break bread with us. But we're also going to do a live pod class, and we're calling it a pod class because it'll be live, and we'll be joined by our sister, Courtney Richardson, attorney at law. She's going to join us as well on a panel to do this pod class, and we're going to have a conversation about Black wealth and legacy, and how,
in particular, how to protect the legacy.
How to protect your legacy, yeah, right. So this is why we have her as a part of it, because she deals in trust, estates, and all those kind of things, and we're going to have a deep conversation about that. Pod class live March 8th. I don't know if you want to share the flyer, because we got a prototype flyer. We don't have the final flyer yet, but by the way, you can go to phillycashmob.com to register if you want to come to the event. phillycashmob.com. Again, it's free to get in. All we ask is for you to get a grub. You know what I'm saying?
Now listen, we do need y'all to register, because in order to make sure y'all don't be talking trash about the Black-owned business not being prepared, y'all know how we love to slander our people. We got to be able to give them give them some numbers so they can be prepared for what's going to happen. Yeah, so it's phillycashmob.com. Registered for the event if you want to pull up. We'll all be there. We're going to have fun. We're going to talk trash. I don't talk trash, sir. I just show love. Yeah, okay. So we're going to have fun, y'all. We're going to do we got a section. We're doing a tribute to West Coast Productions, like, as being one of the greatest Black-owned businesses ever. You know what I'm saying? We're going to give them their flowers. So, yeah, so that's what's going on. It's March 8th right here in Philadelphia.
Victor Kid, you wants to know, can you donate even if you're not from Philly?
Yes. Just shoot it to either. We need to create a Black Wolf Rebels Cash App. For right now, $thefinancerebel.com or the Finance Rebel on Cash App.
I'm about to say you got .com on Cash App. What kind of jankiness you doing? Yeah, you can send it to send either one of them. Send it to $, the Finance Rebel, $, by the hood. But what you want to do is just put in the the section donate. Cash mob donation, and we'll make sure that and we'll give you your credit as well.
And we'll probably buy some people some food or something.
Yeah, we'll take the donation you made to buy others some food that are there, right? Because again, and by the way, the food is fire though. They got the best home fries in the country. I told you, Kumar, that's my thing. That you was hating yesterday. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not hating. I'm like, you can't tell me nothing about nothing on that menu. I brought you there, sir.
No, technically you didn't. I was there before. You introduced me to the owners.
Wait. The first time we ever met, where did we go?
Yeah, but that was my first time there, though. That's the point.
No. But who recommended that spot?
You did.
Thank you.
And by the way, I'm putting this on the record. Kamari treated yesterday too. So I'm gonna give Kamari his flowers.
Why are you trying to steal my thunder? You know that was coming up later.
Listen, I practice the Eminem version. I gotta step on it before you get the bar off. You know what I'm saying? That's my 8 Mile version, man.
I was watching them fight over the bill. I was like, okay. I put my hands on it like I was the police. Like, all right.
Now, what Jimmy didn't do, he didn't show me how to use that phone so I can get some Bitcoin rebate.
See, now you are
live.
Either you're a liar.
That's all Jimmy's show.
Right, Corey.
That's all. Listen. You can say a lot of stuff, but you cannot say he don't share the phone stuff.
He's muted. Damn it. Stay off Jimmy's side.
Listen, just last week, so 2 weeks ago, we did a actual.
Mute yourself.
No, 2 weeks ago we did an actual class with Camille. The night we did the class with Camille, I sent you everything you needed in a group chat. Me, you, and Camille after we finished that class.
Lies.
So what I'll say is this though, right? I can give you all the information in the world, whether you take action or not.
I need a master class. How about that? Everybody else.
Master class is coming the second week of March.
Why can't Mar get a master class?
Listen, I'm putting together the most comprehensive Bitcoin masterclass known to the internet. No. I'm only sharing it with our folks. So if y'all not in the village, y'all not getting it, right? And I'll share it to all tiers, but you got to be in the village. BlackWealthRebels.com. BlackWealthRebels.com. Because I am going to go from the beginning. How did Bitcoin start? What is Bitcoin? And I'm going to go all the way into mining. I'm going to go into node running. Shout out to all my node runners out there. You know what I'm saying? I got 2 nodes running right now. You know what I'm saying? Multiple miners, but I digress. So
you can tell me whether or not the CIA started it or not.
I'm gonna tell you why. Even if the CIA did start it, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
This is the beauty of open source code, and I think that eventually, right? This is all right. This is a quick sidebar. This is what scares me about like the whole idea of AI and investing in AI companies, right? Because the way technology tends to work is everything flows towards open source. And when you look at what happened with DeepSeek and how they were able to affect a lot of the valuations of a lot of companies that are using the AI narrative to generate value, to me, the more interesting part of that is the fact that DeepSeek is open source and they're enabling people to actually, use it to create things and get information. That's the way information should be. Information should be open source. The problem is there are a lot of companies who built their valuation on narratives about these different protocols that are closed source. But it also makes me look at them a little bit sideways, because if someone is able to come into the marketplace and give something that has the same level of quality that's open source, what does that mean for you long term? When you think about it, right? That's when people have a little thought experiment. People push back against DeepSeek because they said, well, this is a Chinese company and they're giving China your data, right? The reason they push back against TikTok is because it's a Chinese company and because we're giving China your data, right? I understand that argument, but the counter argument is, so would you rather me give all my data to Mark Zuckerberg and Sam Altman? Like, is that not just as dangerous, right? It's a lot of it is propaganda.
Let's not forget Elon Musk.
Elon Musk as well, right? So the question is, are we upset about who has the data or the fact that we're given this data? So open source allows us to kind of take control of our own data. And I like that because kind of in the same way that, Bitcoin allows you to take control of your own value. Open source is the future. So I say all that to say this: it doesn't matter who created it, because when you have open source software and I can read the code and I have a copy of the entire blockchain that I can verify at like this, because I run nodes, so I can verify the entire blockchain. Who created it doesn't matter, and that is the beauty of it. So when you see, and I don't want to get too deep into it, this is also part of the class. When you see all these other, Trump coins or XRP shitcoin and all those kind of things, you see them and you say, okay, well, this person created it, and they did this, right? And I'll leave you with this in terms of XRP. I know the XRP army is deep and they're strong and they hate me, and it's okay.
Oh, man, I don't want that smoke. But go ahead.
What I'll say is this. When you look at how it was created, when you look at Ripple and how they created this XRP token, they created a bunch of it and they sold it onto the market. It doesn't take proof of work. Proof of work is what actually creates the value. If you look at the company has only ever sold XRP. They've never bought XRP. They never had to do anything because they created it out of thin air, right? And it's an actual company. So when you look at how they operate, they're no different than the traditional system that we already have. So what's the point? Anyway, I'm going to save some of the rest of that for the class, because the class, we going crazy on the class. I've already started writing it. It's pretty much done. I just want to add a couple parts about mining because I'm deep in my mining bag right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll share some of my texts. I got Bitcoin Mining Economics is one of the books. And by the way, I'm gonna give a copy. Everybody who comes to the master class is going to get a copy of this. I'm not gonna give you the physical one. I'll give you the digital version. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna give you a copy of this. I'm gonna give you a copy of another book too. And I'm gonna share it with you right now, Kamari. While we're here. I have another book too that I'm gonna share with the village. Let me get in here real fast. It's digital, so I'm gonna show y'all, but I'm gonna share it with the village too. I'm gonna give you all copies of it as a part. I have about 4 to 5 books for those that come to the Bitcoin Masterclass that I'm just going to give you, right? So this is another one of them, and I'm just going to show you what it looks like now. It's called the Bitcoin Mining Handbook. It's digital, but it's the Bitcoin Mining Handbook. I'm going to give you a copy of this one, and you're going to also get a copy of the Bitcoin Mining Economics book, as well as a couple of other Bitcoin books that I have that I'm going to share with the entire village as a part of that masterclass. So that masterclass is going to be in the second week of March, and it's going to be you've never seen nothing like that. I'm just going to put it like that. You know what I'm saying?
When are you going to do your Bitcoin book?
I've already started writing it. And the funny thing about my Bitcoin book is kind of what turned into the podcast. The original thing was supposed to be a book, but then it turned into the Stacks Set to Die Trying podcast. So for those that have never seen that, that's also in the village. Go into Stacks Set to Die Trying. It's close to 50 episodes. And if you go back to the beginning, you'll see I actually do a lot of teaching in there. There's a lot of slideshows. Some of the classes are just me pontificating, which is also great because, I love to hear myself talk.
The best. Well, listen, if you got 50 episodes, you can take those 50 episodes, convert those into a book right there. It's done.
I know. You told me this several times, but,
I need you to get it done, man, because, then Jimmy can do an audio book for it. Then you can be like, I'm an audio book author.
Well, first off, if I get an audio book, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna have you do it because you got the what did someone tell you? I heard someone tell you yesterday that you got the voice of gold or something. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, people have said I have the voice of gold, but I'm not.
So if you got that voice, why can't you read the book for me? You know what I'm saying? I'll give you a cut of all the audio book earnings.
Listen, I will say this: me and Jimmy are audio book aficionados. Corey don't like audio books.
Yeah,
but Jimmy will tell you, you need different type voices for different type content. And for different things. I think I can do the voice on certain spot things and certain characters. I don't know about anybody who wants to listen to a whole book from me though.
Listen,
I've been studying it, right? It's not just going on to say, today is Sunday and it was sunny outside, and then we're going to go outside and play. It's more to it than that. It's truly an artwork to it.
Listen, I'll tell you this: as someone who listens to a lot of audiobooks, the greatest audiobook voice there is Dion Graham. Dion Graham is,
Dion Graham.
Pause on me saying Dion Graham's voice is amazing because that sounded kind of crazy, but he's the greatest audiobook narrator there is. For those who don't know who Dion Graham is, he's most famous because he's the voice of the First 48. But he does a lot of audiobooks. He does a lot of audiobooks in like the genre, which is one of my favorite genres, which is what I call urban crime novels. I'm not going to call them what other folks call them. By the way, real fast, I know we've been bloviating for a second because we are getting ready to get off here and do what we got to do for the village. Kamari and I have an actual video back there under Blurred Vision where we talk about our favorite street lit books. I think that was pretty funny. It's also a Black Wealth conversation too, by the way.
Absolutely.
but we give our favorite street lit books for those that are into that genre of book. And I still want to debate Kamari about whether Devil in the Blue Dress is street lit.
Listen, Mouse set it off. Mouse set it off.
You know. Anyway, with that being said, shout to JT again. JT says that more information on our Patreon than any other channel. Listen, I appreciate that because we're trying to
and there's more coming, by the way.
Yeah, we're trying to build up a real catalog. So when people like are just joining now, when they get back there, they're going to see hundreds and hundreds of videos. In terms of like Stack Sats, I got the audio version out there you can listen to early. My Stack Sats podcast comes early to the village. It comes days early for the village before it hits the public airwaves. So that's also a privilege of being in the village. So we want to make sure that you get your value. Yeah, we want to make sure people get their value out of being members of the Black Wealth Rebels because that's the idea of us coming together to do this is to really create value and to pour into the community, but also to do things in the field. So March 8th, February 26th, I hate to say this, but if you have any family members that are currently in the Youth Study Center, let them know to look out for us because we'll be speaking to the youth in the Youth Study Center on February 26th. March 8th, we are live at our cash mob. March 9th, if you have any high school age kids, we have an event for Philadelphia Inspiring Minds.
You have a graphic for that, Jimmy?
You say what?
You have a graphic for that?
I don't have one in front of me, but I will send you one so we can start to promote that as well. For anybody who has a high school age kids, it's going to be very valuable for them. We have various speakers coming from all different walks of life. We provide, education, some snacks, all kinds of stuff. There's also college prep that is there if you need some help with college prep. So we got all that going on March 9th, which is the day after the cash mob. So that's also, in the community. So we're doing things in the community. So anything that we're able to do from Black Wealth Rebels is really pouring back into the community. Also, every Friday we do our Bitcoin giveaway. This past Friday we gave away close to $300 in Bitcoin. So shout out to everybody that was there Friday. And shout out to JT because JT got the big prize. He got $50 himself. So that's what we got going on. Another class on Wednesday. I don't know what Kamari wants to talk about on Wednesday, but we got Wednesday class. We got Sunday class. We got Friday live where we just come on and talk about whatever. This Friday's
that's a class too, though.
It's a class, but we be tripping on Friday. This Friday turned into I don't know what our Friday we were supposed to be talking about making money when you're over like 40 or something.
And then we wound up talking about Nate.
We ended up talking about Nate, West Coast Productions, Tariq Nasheed. We went all over the place. I
want y'all to keep track of how often Jimmy brings up SWs. I'm just saying. No hate either. Just saying.
Yo, that was hate. That's a lot of hate. You see the narrative he's trying to pay. You see the picture, Corey? You see what he's doing?
I have to pay the narrative. Who's the one that said we're going to be talking about West Coast Productions?
First of all, shout out to Jamil. Jamil brought up West Coast Productions, man. Jamil said you missed that whole run. That was Jamil.
Hey, today you said we are going to talk about WCP during our cash mob.
Listen,
that wasn't on the bill.
Jimmy. No, listen. It's because that's a black-owned business, and you try to ignore certain black-owned businesses because of how you feel, because of your Christian upbringing. Like you want to ignore certain black-owned businesses.
Wow. So we do. Oh, man, here we go. So we're going to talk about our Christian upbringing. We're going to talk about your Muslim upbringing.
Sound like
both homes enslaved black people. So that's all I got.
Whoa! All right. So are you saying that Christianity and Islam enslaved black people? Is that what you just said?
Yes, I did, sir. That's all factual. That is his story.
I just wanted you to put it on the record.
I'm just saying.
I just want to put it on the record, right?
I love my Muslim brothers and sisters. That's why I love my Christian brothers and sisters as well. Those who are walking the righteous path. That's all I got. Now stop slandering me, Jimmy. Stop being a bully.
I heard that. JT says, also, I'm not being a bully. It's all love, bro. JT says that he got the BTC the same day. So, by the way, when you win, you get paid the same day. And Ant says Nate is a prime Nate is a prime example of how to get and keep that chicken. Yeah, he invested into his car lot. He became someone that sells cars in the community. So that's that. Jamar says both enslaved black people. I ain't saying I disagree. I just wanted Kamari to put it on the record. That's all.
Because he didn't have the cojones to say it himself.
Do you hear this?
If anybody has any suggestions for us, y'all want us to do anything special, email us at blackwealthrebels.com. All right.
blackwealthrebels@gmail.com, right?
Thank you for saying
that. Yeah. Because listen, we're always looking for recommendations of content and classes that we can provide. We also have a network of folks. We want to start bringing folks back here to teach some classes for our village. Again, the first being our live event. We got our sister coming to teach about, her breadth of knowledge in terms of estate planning. So that's March 8th, live and in the flesh, live and direct, as King Erner would say, live and direct. We're going to be there March 8th, the River Falls Boutique, right off of Kelly Drive, Black-owned establishment, and the food is phenomenal. So it's free. Just pull up, but make sure to register at phillycashmob.com. I don't have anything else to say for this episode. Kamari, go ahead.
Let's be clear. It is free, but you have to pay for your food.
Pay for your food. Absolutely. Pay for your, that's all we ask you, because we want you to try the food, because for one, we know you're going to like it. And for two, we want to support that business. And we're looking to do one every quarter where we pull up on a Black-owned business. So if you got any Black-owned businesses locally that you think we should take a look at to put on our schedule, also send that to blackwealthrebels@gmail.com as well.
And when you send those recommendations, make sure they have adequate space for us to be there.
Yeah.
Have adequate staff. Because here's the thing. Sometimes these cash mobs in the past have got crazy. I never want to leave a blemish on any Black-owned business. That is not the point of this all, y'all. So we want to make sure they look good, feel good, walk away with a couple bucks, and be here to live and fight and provide for the next day.
Listen, Kamari did a cash mob one time where he literally kept a business that was going out of business. He kept it in business, and now they're a historical landmark. So I want to salute my brother for that. Because
it wasn't just me. I can't take the
I know it wasn't just you, but you were a part of the team that did it. Let's put it that way.
I was.
Yeah, it's funny because Corey and I've done cash mobs, right? We did a Mama Atiola's and had an amazing cash mob there.
Shout out to Mama Atiola's on 48th Street.
Yeah, we did a cash mob there. We had, listen, we had some folks in that joint, man. We had some celebrities and everything in there. Like, shout out to Cyrock. Wasn't Cyrock at our joint too, Corey?
Hell yeah,
Cyrock the MC?
Yes. Yes.
Cyrock the MC.
Yes. One of, if not the greatest female MC of all time was at our cash mob. So like it was dope. It was definitely dope.
And she not hard to look at either.
Or listen to.
I like the way he put that. That was a very classy way to say that, Corey. That was very classy. But anyway, man, listen, for those in the village, give us about an hour and we'll have another class back there of what we're looking at this upcoming week in the market.
No pen and pad.
Yeah. Give us an hour plus a pen and a pad, as James Todd Smith once said. When will the Black Wealth Rebels do an in-person mastermind for the group? Well, I mean, that's part of what the March 8th is, a podcast. So
no, but it's not an in-person.
No, we can set that up if y'all willing to come to Philly. If y'all willing to come to Philly or set us up wherever y'all at and bring people out, then we out there.
Yep. That's true too. So even if you're not in Philly, like I don't care where you are, globally, because I'm going to go out the country, man. Listen, if you could put together a room full of people, let us know. We'll figure something out.
But seriously, what Jim said, yes. But if y'all want to come to Philly, that's actually easy for us to do. We can get space. It won't be nothing crazy. We'll make sure y'all eat. We'll make sure y'all get some knowledge. And we'll have a good time. So yeah, let's do that.
Okay, yeah, let's set one out too, though. Yeah. I mean, do the now, and we bring some of our friends out too, man. She said she fine as wine.
He lied.
Listen, she was in the building. What's the sister name? From Move. She was in the building too. We had some legends in the building.
Ramona Africa.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, she popped up at our joint. Like we had some folks there, dog. Like, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to brother Carlton Jones. He pulled up. We had a dope cash mob. But listen, I say that to say we've done this in the past and we're looking to do more of it because it does help Black-owned businesses generate money. And it also exposes people that may have never been there to that Black-owned business. Because if you go there and you love the food, guess what's going to happen, in the future when you decide to go out to eat? You say, instead of, going to this place, I might go over here.
And listen, here's the thing about this, right? I have always been of the school, what do you want to do about it? Now, one of my favorite broadcasters was the Black Eagle. Now, if you don't know who that is, look him up. But he would always say, what are you going to do about it? He would always say, we complain about politics. We complain about people in office. We complain about this. We complain about that. What are you going to do about it? And sometimes what you're doing about it is just as simple as going to a black-owned business or calling up your brother and sister and saying, hey, do you need any help? But it's not just sitting on your ass complaining about it. You got to do something about it.
I agree with that 1,000%. I think we should end right there because what more can I say?
Later, y'all. We'll see y'all behind the village in a couple hours.
Peace and Black Power. Hey, Black Queens forever. Snow bunnies never.